of missed energy in the prizes. Keep an eye on that. But here we go. Let's make some noise for our Utrecht Masters finals here. The winner will get an auto invitation to the World Championship, $10,000 US on the line.
And it looks like Miloslav will be starting things off here with a poker pad. And you just see Hasan taking some notes. Both players would have had a chance to check out each other's deck lists and see what's available. And now they have to look ahead at the rest of the game, starting with that Serendipity EX. Not the best start for Hasan.
No, it's really not. That is Gale Thrust territory right there. So as Miloslav is starting off this Poképad and will conclude this fan call, let's have a little run through of this Mega Lopunny deck. It is a rather new one. It does revolve around Mega Lopunny EX. That Gale Thrust attack 60 plus 170 if you can maneuver the Mega Lopunny into the active this turn. However, it does have some other tips and tricks, Mike.
And that fan call, bringing it all together, finding all those basic colorless Pokemon, anything with 100 HP or less, and that colorless typing can be brought out, and you see a Dunsparce and 2 Baneri coming to the board.
Yeah, and we are going to see the Ultra Ball being played here as well. So what this deck is really going to want to do is draw cards with the Dunsparce. We do see that being taken from Ultra Ball there, but also really use and abuse Wally's Compassion.
Able to heal all the damage on a Mega Pokemon and putting the energy attached to it back to the hand, which works so synergistically with the A-Spec of choice in the deck. That enriching energy, which allows you to draw 4 cards. But Wally's Compassion, a 4 count here in Miloslav's deck, and is really the reason why it's favored here into Dragapult. There's also other tips and tricks with this deck. You have Mist Energy in a 4 count, the Battle Cage as well. All of these cards specifically designed to win this very matchup. But on the other side, Hasan has so many tricks himself, whether it is Disruption, whether it's Crushing Hammers. And so Miloslav will have to play around all of that with his expert experience and set up as stable a board as possible.
Yeah, it's interesting. Miloslav's going to really want to play musical chairs with his active spot by using Air Balloon, by using Runaway Draw, so he can get that Mega Lopunny back into the active turn after turn after turn. So that is going to be Miloslav's first turn, a fantastic turn. Who needs a Precious Trolley? Not him. Is over to Hasan now. What can he cook up?
Buddy Poffin kicks things off, and a great way to start any of these evolving archetypes, as you'll be looking to find those Dreepy. What's the great thing about Dragapult that many people overlook sometimes is how consistent it is thanks to that Dracloak, sometimes featuring in decks without the Dragapult EX. It's that powerful. So Dracloak with Recon Directive allowing Hasan to look at the top 2 cards of his deck, take one and put the other one on the bottom. And so it will allow for those early turns of building big hands and set up for consistency, but it will be the Dragapult EX, the main attacker of the deck.
Yep, that Phantom Dive attack, 200 damage, and you sprinkle 6 damage counters on your opponent's bench Pokemon in any way you like. Terrifying, arguably the strongest attack in the format. Looks like Hasan is going to bench a Badoo and then use Lily's Determination, Mike, one of the best supporters right now. If
you asked any Dragapult player what their first turn dream would look like, it's pretty much always Buddy Poffin, Lily's Determination, and get into that Badoo. And Hasan has done all of that before even looking at the 8 cards from this Lily Determination.
Yep, Lily's Determination. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6, unless you have 6 prize cards remaining, in which case draw 8. That hand is looking rather good. I can see a Draclo, I can see a Poképad. There's a lot going on here. I think, yeah, if you're Hasan, going to bench Monkey Dory as well. I think if you're Hasan, you definitely take this turn 1. Pay retreat, Mike, Badoo.
And has that Poképad ready to get another Dracloak, so much for the future turns to do for Hasan, but one of the advantages for Miloslav is it doesn't take much to start swinging early on, and you can already see the Mega Lopunny EX in play. Can retreat into that and start applying pressure. Early knockouts are the key for Miloslav to get ahead and stay ahead.
Using that Hilda, letting you grab an evolution Pokemon and an energy card, can grab special energy, as it is going to grab that mist energy, which is really important in this matchup because the Pokemon it's attached to isn't affected by any effects from your opponent's attacks. That means any Pokemon that has a mist energy on can't get hit by Phantom Dive.
And typically you'd think Phantom Dive is what it's protecting from, but we've actually seen it be a great way to protect against Mind Bend on the Monkey Dory, looking to try and confuse the active Mega Lopunny. But actually, just the fact that it's a colorless energy that has extra utility is a great addition, as there are those 4 Hilda to find it, which we just saw used. And an early simple turn for Miloslav will get the first knockout of our final. Just looking to stabilize behind this Mega EX which will be able to sponge hits for the rest of the first game here. You just see the Dunsparce, whether he's going to use the runaway draw or not, or just keep him on board in case of disruption.
Runaway draw, one of the game's most premier drawing options right now. We saw it win in Prague, and now it's featured in a 1-1 in a lot of decks. Then you shuffle itself away, and you can do it from the active, by the way, to help Galefrost. But then you get to draw 3 cards, and you actually draw the cards before shuffling it away. So it's just honestly so efficient.
And as the game goes on, it just gets more and more effective because a lot of your cards, like Buddy Buddy Poffin, in other decks are not effective towards the end of the game. But for this deck, you're able to bring back Dunsparce. And the first knockout there, Gale Thrust onto the Budu.
Big KO there. Miloslav taking his first prize card, forcing Hasan to start answering questions, I should say. Hasan is going to kick us off there with a Buddy Buddy Poffin.
And we'll be looking to get more of those Dreepy out. The Itchy Pollen pretty much ineffective at this stage for Miloslav, as the supporters in his deck are so key to setting up. The Hilda, finding you your evolution and energy, where many other decks require items to get going. So Hasan tried his best to slow things down, but an early knockout from Miloslav, putting a clock on Hasan's strategy now.
One thing I want to keep an eye on, as we are going to see Flip the Script being used there from the Pheasantipity, draw 3 if one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, is that Hasan has prized 2 copies of Crispin, so only has 1 more available. And with no energy developed right now, keep an eye on that. Remember, Phantom Dive does need 2 energy to attack. Adrenabrain does need a dark energy to be developed as well. So while Hasan can, you know, slow this game down, at some point we'll need to start firing off attacks here.
Looking to establish those Drakloaks now. Draw some cards. But you're right, energy is the key here. On both sides, in fact, as Hasan will want to try and use those crushing hammers. For him, just needs to start manually attaching and hoping those energies stay in play, despite the 4 bosses orders in Miloslav's deck. And you just see there, Judge or Unfair Stamp, the 2 disruption cards, the hand disruption for Hasan. If you play it now, you might get a few turns back, but it might be more effective later on in combination with a big Phantom Dive.
Yeah, see if you can remove some of these Dunsparce or the Dunsparce before you fire that off right now. I quite like the idea of hold on to. We are going to see a turn attachment to a Drakloak. Remember, Unfair Stamp is currently in hand. That is his A-spec of choice. If one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, shuffle both hands away. They draw 2, you draw 5. But it is just going to be the pass now over to Miloslav.
How many players would have just slammed that Unfair Stamp right down there? But you can see Hasan recognizing the timing is important. You only get 2 chances to hand disrupt when you've got a Judge and an Unfair Stamp, and now is not the time for Hasan.
He's over to Miloslav. Does have a boss's orders in hand, but currently cannot get access to that Drakloak. Hasn't got an energy to attach so you can do Spiky Hopper, and we haven't got an Air Balloon or any way to pivot this Mega Lopunny around yet. Poképad could find a second Dunsparce here. Draw 6 cards. I think you'd love to try and chase that energy, wouldn't you?
Forcing those Dunsparce to run away draw as well will help make the hand disruption a little bit more effective. So
this is true.
Hasan recognizing he needs patience here in this moment.
Okay. Opting not to go for any bosses, or we are going to go for the Hilda here. This is where we're going to start developing that enriching energy, that A-spec, Mike, a premier card in this archetype.
4 cards drawn when you attach this to one of your Pokemon, and in combination with that Wally's Compassion, is able to retrieve it back and draw another 4. We saw it earlier on, how powerful this is. But when there's Crushing Hammers about, you've also got to be conscious that once that goes, you remove one of your main draw cards, but such a strong A-spec here.
Really is. And when we get into the Wally's Compassion loop, you'll see it soon. We'll explain that a little bit more, as we are going to see runaway draw, shuffling away that the Dunsparce and drawing 3. Now, Miloslav does have a Buddy Buddy Poffin in hand, so can look to get these Dunsparce back. I imagine he probably would like to, as we are going to see the Buddy Poffin there. So at least going to grab that one. And another one. There we go. 70 hit point ones, worth noting, outside of range of Phantom Dive.
Yeah, playing the 2 70 HP Dunsparce and the 2 60 HP Dunsparce. So you can see, even using Runaway Draw with the one with 70 HP, every little decision here by Miloslav working in his favor, as that little 60 HP Dunsparce hiding underneath the Dunsparce that evolved earlier on. So now the board is looking pretty stable for MILOSLAV. We'll put that battle cage down and the enriching energy, just everything set up to be as stable as possible.
Battle cage stopping your opponent from manipulating damage counters on your bench Pokemon via abilities and attacks. So you can sort of see just how many checks and counters we are going to see. The Spiky Hopper, 160 damage and a KO.
Great second attack there for Mega Lopunny. Great into a lot of these walling archetypes like Crustle, but also allows you to have a simpler attack into low HP Pokemon like Monkey Dory.
Yep, you're not having to, try and find Air Balloon and use it when a raid draw. 160 damage, perfectly fine. Is over to Hasan now. Going to Recon Directive into a Poképad.
Now for you who's watching at home and might be wondering which of these turns is the big turn for Dragapult, this is it right now. The turn where an attack can be done and disruption can happen. And we'll just be grabbing the Monkey Dory and has put it in play and was hoping to do that in combination.
Had the risky ruins in hand, Mike, but didn't put it down first.
So that damage might come back to bite in the future, but this turn is the pivotal turn for Hasan. This is the chance to take a knockout, disrupt, and do everything you want to do to try and get a big 3-prize knockout on one of those Mega Lopunny.
Yep, Phantom Dive, 200 damage, Night Stretcher, going to bring back Monkey Dory. Cannot bench there, we'd have a full bench there. But yeah, this is the turn where you're going to have to start making MILOSLAV answer questions. Here is that unfair stamp, going to reduce MILOSLAV's hand size down to 2, and Hasan will get 5. Hasn't played a supporter yet either.
And has that Dunsparce on the bench ready to go. Has 2 Dunsparce there too. So we'll be able to start drawing some cards if he sees the right things. But this unfair stamp turn is the key moment against pretty much every deck in the format. Dragapult has so much power built into the deck, and it's this ace spec that allows you to have a potential other win condition by taking all options away from your opponent, and that's exactly what Hasan's going to be hoping for off of these 2 cards for MILOSLAV. Meanwhile, the 5 fresh cards for him, looking to establish more of a board.
We do see some Ultra Ball. We do see Flip the Script as well. So that's another 3 before a supporter has been used here. And a Recon Directive number 2. So many cards, Mike.
Yeah, 5 cards off the unfair stamp, and then already up to over 10 now with that Flip the Script. 2 Recon Directives, and the Dunsparce in the active is going to have to run away draw at this stage to draw another 3.
Wow. Did draw into a boss's orders. I imagine we're not going to be using that, but could go after the Dunsparce if you like. Big turn here, Mike. This is the turn Hasan needs. Has already given up 2 prize cards. Needs to stabilize. Could this be the turn?
Well, might look to try and find a Crushing Hammer at this stage to get rid of that enriching energy. It would be taken out of play with a knockout, but you're not going to be able to take a knockout on the Mega Lopunny right now. And with a Wally's Compassion, that'll go straight back to the hand to reset its effect.
Oh,
so
here
Crushing
we go.
Hammer
Crushing
number
Hammer.
1.
Right on cue. Here we go. If heads, removing energy.
Oh.
Tails. Is there another one? Doesn't look like it.
That would have been a huge heads, taking away the ace spec.
Yeah. Wow. That would have been the icing on this already very good comeback turn cake.
Just there, that Tails lingering on the table. Going to be feeling that, just thinking through the game plan now, because that was a key part of this turn for Hasan, not only putting damage in play, not only taking rid of that enriching energy, but, the damage we saw earlier on is going to be a boss's orders onto the Dunsparce.
I like this. If this is the turn that Hasan needs, he needs this unfair stamp to really stick it to MILOSLAV. So remove any draw options, 200 damage into the active, 6 damage counters on the bench.
Can put this on either the Dunsparce that are there, and even that Fan Rotom, which cannot be taken out of play due to it being just a basic Pokemon, can't evolve into the runaway draw, so going to be thinking about where to spread it.
This is awkward. This is awkward now, because if MILOSLAV wants to Gale Thrust, we need to try and maneuver around the active. Could use Spiky Hopper, of course, for 160. Oh, those 2 cards, Mike. Boss's Orders and Lily's Determination.
Yeah, MILOSLAV has got options in hand, but it's whether he goes for them here. Really wants to start drawing up to another big hand, because once that unfair stamp's been played, you're much less likely to get disrupted. There is a Judge in Hasan's deck, but you want to build up to another big hand size to force more out of the opponent. And a Buddy Poffin off the top, Lily's Determination and Boss's Orders in that hand for MILOSLAV.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to use this body pop and maybe reload some Dunsparce. Problem is with those, they have 60 hit points though. They could get hit by a Phantom Dive. So it's like we're not going to grab anything. So it's just going to be the Lilies here. Here we go.
Well, the advantage of a Lily's Determination is it's not a boss's orders at this stage. So a swing into the active Dragapult is likely to come down here, which would create damage for those Monkey Dories on the bench. Just not ideal. You want to see that disruption stick a little bit longer, and
Yep.
Lily's Determination just going to get 6 cards here for MILOSLAV.
Yep. Could even get some runaway draw. Could start developing air balloons. Perhaps could develop a battle cage. Speaking of battle cage, one is in hand. There we go. Risky Ruins has been replaced.
And with the deck lists being shared beforehand, MILOSLAV will be aware that he can win the stadium battle by placing Battle Cage first.
Yep.
And replacing the future 2 Risky Ruins from Hasan. So has got rid of one of them now. And with that last Battle Cage going down, will be secured for the rest of the game. And that's a key part of this Mega Lopunny deck to try and block off the bench damage from Phantom Dive.
We are going to see a Poképad going to conclude for that Dunsparce. And here's the thing, is like both players just constantly asking questions. MILOSLAV saying, can you replace this battle cage? Can you get around my mist energy? You know, can you try and remove this enriching energy? And then for Hasan, it's like, can you get out of this unfair stamp? Can you heal this off in time? And we are going to see runaway draw. There's a Wally's Compassion mark, very important.
Future turns it will be for sure, and that's been the chain we've seen from MILOSLAV. Not just getting the Wally's Compassion for this turn or the next turn, it's about getting every single one of them out turn by turn, so you've got one banked ready for the next time you need it.
Some heads-up play there, using the runaway draw, replacing the stadium, then you can buddy popping back out the 70 hit point Dunsparce without that 1 damage counter now. So that is outside of range. Here comes another the Dunsparce, which is more safe, even has 60 hit points because of the presence of that battle cage.
And we've seen it in the previous games for MILOSLAV, just comfortable having Dunsparce be taken out, knowing that once you get down to 4 prize cards remaining on the other side, or 1 prize card remaining, you can just have a single Mega Lopunny in play. So you ask a lot of questions that way. So you have a few of them to play with, but it will just be that 160 from a Spiky Hopper into the active Dragapult.
Okay. Strong turn there for MILOSLAV. Has navigated out of that unfair stamp rather nicely, it's safe to say. Over to Hasan. Recon Directive used ×2. Is that Meowth and Boss, I think, off those 2?
I think so. Did get a Dark Energy on the first one. Would love to move 60 damage over after bumping the stadium and try and take out 2 Dunsparce here, but
yeah, you would.
Looks like it's going to be quite hard to do with the 2 Crispin and the prize cards.
That would have been a beautiful turn if you could manufacture that one. Has got a Dark Energy in hand now, so Adrenaline Brain is live, letting you maneuver 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon over to your opponent if Monkey Dory has a Dark Energy attached. There's the Risky Ruins. That is the last Risky Ruins available to Hasan. Adrenaline Brain use, mid-turn KO on the Fan Rotom. That is a prize card for Hasan.
And if he goes down to that 3 prize cards remaining, the Mega Lopunny knocked out at any moment would win the game. So this is the strategy we've seen into the Mega Lopunny deck. Take 3 little guys and then take out the big one.
I wonder if Hasan was trying to hunt for one of those Crispin there to develop another Adrenaline Brain. Obviously didn't take it from the prize cards there, so it's just going to be a Lilies.
Now has access to a swing into the active and can KO either of those Dunsparce with 60 HP remaining, which would put Hasan on 3 prize cards remaining. And that's where you start wondering, can you chain together enough damage on a Mega Lopunny? Even if it's the active and the bench one, you might be able to set it up for a guaranteed knockout at some point in the future.
Yep, and that will be the mini game there for Hasan. Once you get down to 3 prize cards, it's just by all means necessary. Just KO a Mega Lopunny. Then MILOSLAV knows the gameplay changes to where I need to preserve my Mega Lopunny at all costs. And that is what we are marching towards here in this finals game 1.
So just going to see 6 fresh cards off the Lily's Determination. A Crushing Hammer on the Enriching Energy would be great here, but no more draw available and didn't get it off those 6 cards.
So I think with the Adrenaline Brain being used here, Recon Directive being used here, Flip the Script obviously is not live. Once this Ultra Ball concludes, I don't think we're going to see any other plays here. Ultra Ball for Meowth. We are currently bench locked. There we are, so we aren't going to see that this turn. This
is a huge turn for Hasan. We said the last one was big. The knockout on 2 single prizes means that Hasan just needs to take a 3-prize knockout to win this game. MILOSLAV now has damage in play. We'll need to try and chain those Wally's Compassion. Otherwise, Hasan will take a 3-prize knockout and win here in the final, our first game of the Utrecht final.
We are going to see a pay retreat now into the fresh Mega Lopunny. Wally's Compassion, get that enriching energy back. Now with Crushing Hammer, do you immediately develop that to draw more cards, or do you hold it? We are going to immediately re-establish to draw 4. We'd love to try and evolve up or find a battle cage here for those Dunsparce. Oh, we find 1. That's huge. Do we have another? Poképad.
And that's going to help protect you from that disruption. MILOSLAV will know that the Judge in Hasan's deck is the last form of disruption available. So at this stage, we'll be conscious of that in the back of his mind, whether he keeps the Dunsparce in play to protect himself or whether he looks to use them now to see more cards. It's going to depend on whether that Wally's Compassion's in hand.
Strong turn there. It is going to be the Gelfos for the KO. MILOSLAV, 2 prize cards left. Is going to be a Boss's Orders away from winning on the Serendipity. Mike, what can Hasan do?
He needs disruption at this stage. As you mentioned, Boss's Orders, a single card out for MILOSLAV to win the game.
And I think this is why he took the Meowth earlier, so this Meowth can go and find that Judge, I imagine.
I mean, it's the only way you can win.
Yep, there it is.
It's going to be a tough one. Judge will put 4 cards into MILOSLAV's hand, and with 2 Dunsparce in play, that's a lot of cards still.
It is a lot of cards, and now you've got Meowth as another Boss's Order target here as well. But that Judge, a supporter, forcing both players to shuffle their hands into their deck and draw 4.
And won't even have enough energy here to do a Phantom Dive.
Nope.
So Crushing Hammer or Crushing Hammer here. We'll look to try and get rid of that enriching energy.
Be important.
And it looks like
that was a Tails.
That's a Tails there. Attachment Judge.
Here we go. Okay, so Hasan had 1 previous swing turn with the Unfair Stamp. That was unsuccessful. For Hasan to win this game 1, this Judge needs to slow MILOSLAV down, who is currently a Boss's Orders away from winning.
With the Dunsparce runaway draw, ×2 on board.
×2, yeah.
This is going to be an opportunity for MILOSLAV to quickly find game in hand. And it's that start of the Serendipity that we mentioned.
Yep.
Not an ideal start, and this is exactly why, as it is in range of a Gale Thrust. Just drawing some cards here, trying to find more resources for next turn. Trying to find that Dragapult EX at this stage, just to swing into the active. I don't think he even found that here.
No, I don't think he has. I think it's going to have to be a pass after this with a turn attached. Yeah. Oh, we're going to do Adrenaline Brain. Move over. 20 damage. Okay. Oh, boy. It's over to MILOSLAV now. Boss's Orders. Now, there is a Pokegear, and we do have Runaway Draw ×2. Battle Cage coming down as well. Runaway Draw number 1, Mike. Boss's Orders.
I don't think
Not
it was
yet.
there, but you're going to go so deep into the deck as we see that first Runaway Draw conclude.
Has so many ways to go and find it. Could even start to Ultra Ball to try and get that Dunsparce back, just to thin the deck. Wow, Mike, this could be the turn. This could be the turn that MILOSLAV wins game 1 here.
Just checking through that deck to see the outs. That's a thin deck, and the Pokegear will allow him to look 7 cards deep after this Runaway Draw. Might get it off the Runaway Draw alone, but if not, has the backup of a Pokegear. Here's another 3 cards.
Runaway Draw.
Is there a boss?
Was that a boss? There's a Boss's Orders to Gale Thrust, the Meowth, and all the Serendipity. MILOSLAV taking his last 2 prize cards to win game 1.
Game 1 for MILOSLAV here at Utrecht has been showing exactly why this deck can take down Dragapult. At moments, it looked like Hasan had done enough, but then Dunsparce drew it back in for MILOSLAV, and we'll get a chance to see how that panned out. Early pressure from MILOSLAV certainly set the pressure high.
Yep, from turn 1, MILOSLAV was making Hasan starting to jump through hoops. And Hasan, to be fair, did a fantastic job, was navigating around. But the thing is, when your opponent's deck is just so designed to make your life so hard, at some point, if you can't jump over every single hurdle, it can start to get out of hand.
And the Crushing Hammers did flip tails on both occasions. That could have changed things, but in the end, it was just too much pressure from Mega Lopunny. You see it here. Move into the next one, and heal the first. There we go, all that damage going away. Not only that, but you get to draw more cards with that enriching energy.
And that's how he was able to develop those Dunsparce and have them ready for their second disruption turn there from Hasan to fire off that Judge. Miloslav knew all he had to do was just draw cards, get boss's orders, and keep the Mega Lopunny in play. That's exactly what he did, and he's 1 game up.
It's always very satisfying when you're holding onto a poker gear. You get to draw some cards first, knowing that you might see it with those draws, and if not, you get to look 7 cards deeper after the fact. And in this case, Miloslav on the second runaway draw was able to do so. And you could see exactly why he filled his bench with Dunsparce to make that happen. Looking at these prize cards, there's the Budu, which might be useful to slow down for Hasan, but now getting to go first, thanks to that first game loss. Will it make enough of a difference here?
Okay, so this is our game 2 getting started at our Utrecht regional finals. If Miloslav wins this, he will be our champion. Hasan needs to win this to keep his regional championship dream alive. Consulting those prize cards there for Hasan, 1 GP and the Budu, I think, are the most impactful, as well as 2 copies of Poképad could actually come up.
All these lists in our tournament so consistent. 4 counts of many of those cards. I think Poképad in 4 counts, Buddy Buddy Poff in 4 counts, and Dreepies to boot too. On the other side, Miloslav will be looking to go wide here with his colourless Pokemon, Dunsparce and Baneri. How's he going to be able to do that with that current hand? Starting off with a Hilda.
I think he has an Ultra Ball, so he can at least use that to go grab Fan Rotom and grab all the little guys for what it's worth. Bit costly, but we are going to start the turn off there with a Hilda. A lot of supporters in that hand, Mike.
Might even need to use that enriching energy at this stage just to draw a better hand. But does make it vulnerable to that potential crushing hammer heads, which could come through early on and completely slow down Miloslav's game plan.
One thing I want to keep an eye on is Miloslav has actually prized Battle Cage, which is a really impactful stage, and we saw it get used a lot in game 1. That's currently in the prizes, and it is kind of in the middle, so Miloslav would need to take a few to sort of get there. As well as the 2 copies of Fire Energy. So that means hasn't got as many energy to work with here. Crushing Hammer could make that impactful.
Energy cards, often the hardest bit of Miloslav's deck to find.
Yep.
Looking to try and get those turn by turn. Able to get them with the Hilda, but often not able to use Hilda as the supporter for turn. Early on will be the supporter of choice here to get that enriching energy and a Mega Lopunny EX. And drawing 4 cards is a mighty good effect, and it will be on that active Dunsparce. Just looking to see some more cards before playing that Ultra Ball. What have you got?
Oh, Buddy Buddy Poffin and an Ultra Ball. Fantastic. I think that's what we needed to get in this race.
Buddy Buddy Poffin, a great way to set up with any of these colourless decks on your first turn, as you're able to find that Fan Rotom as well as your Dunsparce, sometimes not even looking to get the Fan Rotom, as it can be a little bit of a liability, as we saw in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get away without using it, that's great. Because it is, as you say, a basic Pokemon with low amount of hit points that cannot evolve. So as the game goes on, it just does become, you know, an opportunity for Hasan to start leapfrogging in prizes, as we did see in game 1. So we are going to see Buddy Buddy Poffin here from Miloslav. Looks like he is going to go for Fan Rotom. Is going to find Dunsparce, and a Baneri. All the 60 hit point, well, 2 60 hit points one this time, I should say. Oh, because he has prized the second 70 hit point one.
Very true. And at this stage, you can see how consistent that fan call is. 3 Pokemon of the colorless type with 100 HP or less. Can't find any of the evolutions like you might do in a Noctowl deck. But with Hildas and Ultra Balls and Pokepads, you'll be able to find plenty of those throughout the game. So we'll just be using the attack of that Dunsparce just to protect it, as trading places will put it to the bench and the free retreat Dunsparce to the active.
That's nice. That Dunsparce active can get KO to a Mind Bender, as it has got 60 hit points. Big crushing hammer here, Mike. This could be impactful. Heads. And it's heads. Enriching energy gone. We saw how impactful that is in combination. Oh, and we are going to see the Mind Bend as well. That is a big turn, removing the A-Spec and taking a prize card. Miloslav needs to respond here. There's Mega Lopunny.
I mean, I think Hasan's hand was forced there a little bit. Doesn't have much else going on in it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, of course. No other playables. So it is just going to be the retreat into a Gelfrost. It looks like we do have the Dunsparce getting developed as well. And I think if you are Miloslav, you're right, you could be smelling blood in the water. You actually didn't do much playables there, Hasan. All you did was attach, attack, and flip a coin with the crushing hammer.
And one of the spaces that's made by having these 4 crushing hammers is you don't have any rare candies in Hasan's build of Dragapult. So those Dreepy are not going to be a Dragapult anytime soon. They need to evolve up through the Drakloak. And so a lack of evolution last turn means that Hasan is quite far away from getting an attack off. But the enriching energy gone now means that for the rest of the game, Miloslav will not be able to use it. For Hasan, he's going to have to try and find a way to stabilize on the other side of this knockout.
You're going to see the Lily's determination being used here. And I'll tell you what, if you're Hasan, if you don't have any playables and you're watching your opponent's board just develop like this, your heart has to sink a little bit. Like, he's got everything rolling. All he needs to do is just evolve that other the Dunsparce there, and you could argue this is the perfect... Oh, there we go. Right on cue.
There it is. And we'll be looking to evolve the 70 HP Dunsparce and use it, as the 60 HP Dunsparce is better when it's underneath a Dunsparce. And so we'll be able to get back out the 70 HP there. And just these tiny little decisions, you can see exactly why Miloslav has made his way to this final, not only by his deck choice, which is great into a large majority of the field with Dragapult, but also by his execution of it. Every little decision going exactly how it needs to. As we see the only energy on board for Hasan attached to that Monkey Dory, which is about to be knocked out. The only evolved Pokemon in play are on Miloslav's side. Hasan is going to have to do quite a lot of rebuilding after this knockout.
There's a lot going on here. There's the air balloon as well. That's going to make maneuvering around much easier. There was the Gale Frost, though. Hasan, what have we got there? Ultra Ball, Crispin.
Does have the unfair stamp, but we saw in the previous game how important the timing of that was.
Yes.
And at this stage, might have to use his best hand disruption as a way to get more resources, which is not ideal at this stage.
I think you're right. I think you can't really afford to give up any more turns of pressure here. Miloslav is developed. You haven't got any energy developed at this point yet.
And looking at Miloslav's side of the board, with that air balloon on the Mega Lopunny and the Dunsparce on the bench, we'll be able to reset a Gale Thrust next turn, no matter what's in his hand. So this unfair stamp being used as a back foot attempt to get back in the game for Hasan. Not ideal, but very much needed.
Sometimes, if needs must, you have to play to your outs. You'd love to try and hold on to that unfair stamp. I mean, at least you have removed the enriching energy. Miloslav has only got one array draw developed versus 2 in the last game. And I think it's safe to say in the last game, everything went well for Miloslav. He hopped over the unfair stamp and the judge turn spectacularly. Will the cards fall that way for him again?
We'll be able to get both Drakloak in play. The one from before the unfair stamp and now one afterwards here. And so we'll be able to see some cards and might be able to get something into the active that's a little less vulnerable. And it's really tough to do that at this stage. Something like the Budu would have been a great target to the other side of this, but it is prized for Hasan, so not going to be able to disrupt. We mentioned how weak the Budu was in the other game, but on this occasion, Budu would have been the perfect attacker at this moment, but it is prized, so everything feeling a little bit tough for Hasan, who's really trying to establish something under the pressure of Miloslav's early knockout.
And that's the thing, Mega Lopunny is so low to the ground. In theory, all Miloslav needs is just, at the bare minimum, just another energy to attack. To do Spiky Hopper. Or you could retreat into the next one and use Gale Frost. We're not really asking a lot from him here.
The downside of those early knockouts is your Lily's Determination quickly becomes less valuable. Only 6 cards for Hasan here, where typically at this kind of board state, you'd be seeing 8.
That is a fantastic point, actually. But again, if needs must with that Mind Bend. Okay, we do see some Buddy Puff, and we do see a Crushing Hammer here as well. And that would be nice. Hasan needs this unfair stamp to slow Miloslav down. Has drawn into Pheasantipity again. Gonna have to use that flip the script. Okay, Hasan, I see you now. Getting back into this game.
Setting up a little bit. Does have that energy to attach. Will look to try and Crushing Hammer here.
Here we go.
Energy on the active.
That's a Tails.
Will be staying.
If that flip could have been very impactful there. Crispin. If we played, we've used Lily this turn, haven't we? Yep. So we're always going to see a turn attached to Drakloak. And I think we might be staring down a passive now from Hasan.
I mean, putting Dreepies down would be great, but then you're taking up your bench from the Monkey Dories, which becomes so vital as the game goes on, because you will be sponging a hit from that Mega Lopunny, so you do want to use those monkeys, but it's tough when you don't have energy in play. You don't really get an opportunity to attach a Dark Energy as well as the requirement for the Dragapult too.
Yeah, we're going to see an Ultra Ball. Buddy Puffin did grab one Dreepy, as you did rightfully say. Ultra Ball here. I wonder if this grabs the Dragapult EX or if this does find a Monkey Dory. Or with the Dunsparce, that also works. Runaway Draw, looks like we might be using it here as well. That does free up a bench spot, as you did say. I
wonder if the Buddy Puffin on the other side of this Dunsparce would have been more effective to be able to get the Dunsparce back into play. But, you know, at this stage, a lot to ask of Hasan, as everything seems to be set up for MILOSLAV.
It really does, doesn't it? And again, Hasan's hand has gone quite small again, only down to 3 cards. One of those is a Meowth. We are going to use Runaway Jordan to back up to 6. Risky Ruins did get found there as well.
Just going to shove that Dreepy, and will likely pass at this stage. All actions have kind of been complete.
Yeah, and there's the pass.
MILOSLAV now going to try and find his way out of the first hand disruption, the unfair stamp of Hasan's last turn.
Just Ultra Ball, Boss's Orders, and a Wally currently in the hand.
And we'll be able to reset the active, so we'll be able to target down that energy now, which will be huge this turn.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, the Runaway Draw didn't give you much in the way of extra resources, but I think chasing energy here, just making life as hard as you can. You'd love to try and get a Battle Cage, actually, but...
Yeah, going to be able to shuffle the Runaway Draw back in and maybe get another Dunsparce going, but with the Boss's Orders in hand, we'll be able to take out that Drakloak on the bench. MILOSLAV recognizing weakness in Hasan, and we'll be looking to take away the most important resources, just thinking deeply about every turn, as one wrong move could be the difference between winning and losing the Utrecht Regional.
It really could be. You don't want to be making any mistakes like that, especially any catastrophic ones, so really think about every play. The Dunsparce has been shuffled away, just debating. It looks like MILOSLAV's debating to play like Ultra Ball. Would have to discard Abra and a Boss's Orders, it's looking like. So there's the Ultra Ball being played. What are we getting rid of here? Air Balloon. We have got one developed already.
I mean, that Abra is so key in the end game.
It is.
You see how much holding on to it, might be thinking about discarding it, knowing he can get it back with a future stretcher.
Night Stretcher. It's going to be a Boss. Does he have a second one?
I think has a second one in hand there.
Definitely, maybe he drew into one off the Runaway Draw. Definitely had one in hand on the back of the unfair stamp.
I'll tell you what, whenever you see someone Ultra Ball away with Boss's Orders, you're a bit concerned.
Yeah, you are. Like, wow, what other good cards are in the hand there? If Boss's Orders is the one to hit the discard pile.
You can see that exact thought coming out as the discard pile is checked.
Yeah, for sure. You're thinking, oh no, if Boss's Orders are getting discarded, there's some good stuff in that hand.
I mean, the Pheasantipity now in play will be that easy target towards the end of the game.
There is a second Boss in hand. Gets this, we can see it there.
Oh, just going to want to try and re-establish 2 Dunsparce on the other side of this. Is there going to be a Buddy Puffin there? No, doesn't look like it. So no draw on board now for MILOSLAV. So this is where you start to wonder, is that top decking going to really negatively affect MILOSLAV? Doesn't have the ability to use Wally's Compassion with the enriching energy.
No.
So that early Crushing Hammer might come back to be the key to Hasan's route into this game.
Yeah, you're right. That enriching energy, the deck sort of really relies on it here. So we are going to play a Hilda. Not even going to go for the Boss, might I say. So what's Hilda going to find us here? Mist Energy and then a Dunsparce. Yeah, we haven't turn attached because we've been using the same Mega Lopunny. So this Mist Energy could go on to Phantom Rotom to stop any Phantom Dive. Damage counter placement. Could go on Mega Lopunny to protect it as well on the bench. You could attach to the active and go for Sparky Hopper. It's going to be on the bench, Mega Lopunny.
Just recognizing next turn might need to retreat into another attack. Now Hasan has energy in play, has the Drakloak and the Pheasantipity, so can start to build up a big hand. And this is the opportunity to take things away.
I do think that unfair stamp was a lot more successful than in game 1. MILOSLAV's board is not looking very developed. There is no Dunsparce developed, so there will be no Runaway Draw next turn. Here comes the Meowth here from Hasan. Could we be going for the judge here, saying your board is not very good? Good luck getting out of this. And it looks like that is what we're on. I love this play. Basically saying you have no draw power in play, my friend. You have not got enriching energy. So Here's a fresh hand of 4. Good luck with that.
A great read. Recognizing the discard of the boss's orders previously means that the other cards in that hand must be good.
Yep.
So if you can get rid of those, make it as hard as possible, this judge could be the key to victory.
Fantastic heads-up play there, Mike. You're right, reading this perfectly well. We are going to see a turn attachment to the active as well. All we have to do is find a Dragapult. Is there one in the discard pile? Well, there is. So nice stretch. You're going to get back the big, the bad, the scary Dragapult EX. And there's the judge.
And that judge is going to disrupt MILOSLAV for the final time in this game. As far as the hand is concerned, both players shuffle their hand into their deck and get 4 cards. For MILOSLAV, those 4 cards in the top deck will all he'll be able to play with, as there's no draw on board.
Nope.
The enriching energy is gone.
Yep.
So this could really slow down MILOSLAV in these big moments.
And if you're Hasan, you still have Flip the Script available. Okay. Big turn here. This is the turn Hasan needs to try and win this game too. Buddy popping. Could grab back Dunsparce. There we go. Wow.
Key card here. Seeing plenty more with the Fezandipity and the Drakloak on board, so that 4-card hand less disruptive to Hasan, as he will be able to get the attack off here and see more resources. And now it will be a battle of who can swing and survive for the longest, as both players will trade.
Crushing Hammer.
Oh, here we go.
This could be really big. Oh, unfortunate. That could have been the icing on the cake there. We're going to see Recon Directive use number 2.
Good for next turn, that Lily's Determination.
Yep, really is.
And I think at this moment, a swing into the active, 200 damage with Phantom Dive, sprinkling 6 onto Fan Rotom. And now, how are you going to rebuild this MILOSLAV? What do you have? And is it too dangerous? If he puts some of those Dunsparce in play, then there's an opportunity here for Hasan to take a big knockout, as well as taking out 2 little guys. And with 5 prize cards remaining, that could be the win. So MILOSLAV now has to think deeply about how he establishes this board.
So I think there's a Wally in hand. There's an air balloon battle cage. Maybe there isn't a Wally, actually. No, there isn't. Sorry, no. There's a battle cage, which is obviously very nice, but there is not a Wally. There isn't Abra. Going for the Abra there. Very useful card when it's in the active spot. You can just shuffle it away back into the deck, letting you, use 1 Mega Lopunny as a recursion and keep using Gale Frost over and over again.
But combination of Risky Ruins, Monkey Dory, Phantom Dive, a Boss's Orders. There are combinations here for Hasan to win next turn with the way MILOSLAV has set up his board. And that's why he's really thinking deeply here. It looks like it's hard for Hasan to win in a near future turn, but 5 prize cards quickly goes when one of them is a Mega Pokemon.
Yep, it's not that hard at all. So we are going to see a retreat. We are going to see the teleporter now back into the Mega Lopunny. So Gale Frost is live for that extra damage. That will be swinging for 240 right now. Let's have a look. What else is in that hand then? Yeah,
playing it like he has the
battle
Wallies.
cage. No, there definitely isn't a Wally. I thought there was, but I don't think there is yet. It's going to be the Gale Frost for 240. Finally, one of Hasan's questions hasn't been answered by MILOSLAV. This could be the turn that Hasan needs to win this game.
And a huge swing, 230 damage onto that active Dragapult. Won't be able to take a big victory here. You saw in the final moments there, MILOSLAV opting to not put the Dunsparce down, recognizing that that could have opened up a victory here. So just going to make this as hard as possible for Hasan, but with no draw on board, this is going to get increasingly difficult for MILOSLAV to chain together attacks, hoping to find those final 4 prize cards with everything he's got on board right now. And meanwhile for Hasan, so much draw for him that he can start establishing as much as he needs.
Yeah, I think we saw this earlier on stream, didn't we, where MILOSLAV started to play with 1 Mega Lopunny. But this is tough. With that Fan Rotom in play, though, and a damaged Mega Lopunny, it's 4 easy prize cards, I should say, leaving Hasan with only 1 more to take. Lily's Determination.
Gonna be 6 fresh cards and a Dunsparce on board.
And a Dunsparce if you like as well, yeah.
And you can really see, I think the key here is being able to attack with a future Dragapult, hoping that the Fezandipity EX or the Meowth EX on the bench are not a target for Miloslav's second Mega Lopunny EX, and really wants to try and bump that stadium too.
Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, it does it. Risky Ruins.
See how that pans out in the rest of this turn, but bumping the battle cage away is key.
And remember, Miloslav's third battle cage is prized. So that means until he takes some extra prizes, that Risky Ruins will still be in play. Runaway Jawbone, Crushing Hammer. That's a massive flip there. That means when this Mega Lopunny gets KO'd, Miloslav will need to find an energy and a way to maneuver the Mega Lopunny around to deal massive damage.
And there's that Dunsparce coming back with 20 damage on it from the Risky Ruins. We'll get the Poképad back, so he's going to be taking a 4-prize turn here. No energy on board for Miloslav. No draw on board. We'll have to play out of that 3-card hand he's been left with.
I mean, how do you even do that? Air Balloon, Abra Energy? That's the only thing I can think of.
It's going to be a lot to ask as a big 4-prize turn here for Hasan.
Big, massive 4-prize turn. Going down to 1 prize card remaining. Miloslav with this Mega Lopunny versus the world. What can he do? There's the Air Balloon. Wally isn't actually going to be the pass.
Just a pass there. A chance now for the Dragapult to get loads of damage on board as we see a Crispin energy coming into play.
Here we go, finally. Hasan's questions wasn't answered by Miloslav. He has slowed down. No enriching energy, no to Dunsparce means no actions at all. And Hasan can start to weave in Adrenabrain, weave in damage, and weave in a win.
And in the other side, Miloslav has that Wally's Compassion. We'll be looking to try and take as much time up as possible for Hasan.
Oh, it's going to be the concession mic from Miloslav. That's all he needed to see, and Hasan takes game 2.
Incredible performance. You can see he's loving it.
He knows
here.
He got away with that one there. Have your head up high. We're going to a game 3.
Unfair stamp wasn't enough, but it was that judge that came through to finish everything off. No draw on board means that those Wally's Compassions become increasingly difficult to chain. And it was early on in this game, a key moment in the early stages that will be remembered. That enriching energy going with Crushing Hammer really decided that game.
It really did, as well as that turn. This turn here, the judge, this was the turn that Miloslav just wasn't able to get back in the game. Crushing Hammer heads here as well, tails there I should say. That judge, honestly, just immediately identifying that there was no Dunsparce or Dunsparce around, meaning those 4 cards were likely going to be all Miloslav had. This was the heads on that missed energy, meaning that once that Mega Lopunny in the active went down and that fan rotor, Miloslav was not able to announce an attack, and that's all Miloslav needed to move on to a game 3.
4 prize card turn, and that's the downside of these Mega Pokemon. They do give up 3 prize cards, but they are able to sponge those hits from the Dragapult. Without Draw Engine, though, Mega Lopunny ran out of steam. And when we said before this final, yes, the Mega Lopunny...
Oh, that's his only fan Rotom in the prizes there, Mike. Just want to draw attention to that one. But it is going to a game 3 here, our Utrecht Special Championship. Let's make some noise. The winner will be a champion and walk home with $10,000 US. And it looks like Miloslav is kicking us off.
Mega Lopunny, the counter deck touted to be coming to this event to take down Dragapult. Even that isn't good enough to 2-0 the almighty Dragapult. Andrew Hedrick's list inspired Hasan to come here after LA Regionals and play it back. And the Crushing Hammers clearly coming in clutch in the last game. But Budu starting for Hasan will be great. One of the optimal starts when you're going second. Meanwhile, on the other side, the free retreating Dunsparce will be a great way to get into an early attack. And this Poképad will discover there is no Fan Rotom available, and that is in the prize card, so going to be less explosive here for Miloslav.
Hang on. How many? 1 more Poképad in hand. I can see a couple Dunsparce. Are we going to end the turn if only 1 Baneri in play?
I guess so.
I think we might be.
When you're staring down the Budu, you need to play all these items ASAP.
This is true, yeah.
They're going to be going down. And no Fan Rotom means it's going to be a narrower board than before.
That Fan Rotom, as you say, just really limits the explosiveness that these colorless decks love to have. We saw in game 1, Miloslav had a turn 1 of 5 bench. I mean, to be fair, this is equally quite impressive. 4 bench Pokemon.
I mean, you'll take that,
wouldn't you? All 4 Dunsparce, to be fair. All 4 Dunsparce in play.
Yeah, you know, you're lacking your Fan Rotom, but when you got them in your hand...
Who needs it? Yeah.
That's the perfect way for it to go. So we'll be able to get 4 Dunsparce and 1 Baneri. Energy attached. It's now on Hasan to establish his own board.
Okay, Hasan. What can you do here in this game 3? This is a win or go home scenario for our players. Buddy Puffin starting us off.
And again, we mentioned the dream start for Dragapult typically consists of Buddy Poffin, Lily's Determination, and a Budu in the active. So the Buddy's already there. The Dreepies will be coming down at this stage. The question is there a Lily's Determination to help set up your future turns for Hasan? I peeped a few Pokepads, so we'll be able to get some Pokemon going. But recognizing how quick MILOSLAV took knockouts in game 1 when he went first, we'll be concerned about that early pressure coming through.
Really would. It's just so interesting. There's wow, got a lot of Pokepads here, and this is what you want in a game 3, right? You see your opponent get a good setup, thinking, okay, let me get set up as well. Let's have a good back and forth here. Led the Budu. We'll be able to item lock straight away. Turn attachment of a Dark Energy to the Dreepy. And yep, just going to be the Itchy Pollen, 10 damage and no items for MILOSLAV. Okay, what can we do?
Lacked the supporter for turn there. Hasan will be relying on that Dracloak next turn in hand. Meanwhile, MILOSLAV has the Dunsparce here and will be able to see plenty of cards, even taking away that 10 damage put in play by the Budu.
We'd love to try and find a boss's orders here. Just find Enriching Energy.
Oh, wow, this is looking pretty perfect for MILOSLAV.
Okay. Do you have Mega Lopunny in hand? I think we definitely have a Hilda, so we can get the KO with Gale Frost just doing 60.
I mean, move the Baneri up early, so if that evolves into the Mega Lopunny, won't be able to hit for the full damage, but when there's a Budu facing down, it doesn't matter. 60 from Gale Thrust is more than enough.
There we go, Hilda finding an Evolution Pokemon and an Energy. Can be Special Energy, it's going to find the Mist. No Baneri developed yet, though, no Battle Cage. I mean, I guess the sign is quite far away from announcing Phantom Dive, so it's not really end of world for that one.
And with the open deck list going into this final, MILOSLAV will be very aware there's no rare candy for Hasan, so will not be able to get into that large Dragapult EX early stages. Instead, a quick knockout on the Budu, and pressure begins for MILOSLAV.
Yep, Spiky Hopper or Gale Frost, both of which would be fine. First prize card taken. Has Hasan got a supporter now? It's like Crushing Hammer. No supporter. No supporter yet, Mike. Apart from boss's orders.
I mean, does have that Pheasantipity X, flip the script for 3, but it is a liability. Was the final knockout for MILOSLAV in game 1 when it was in play. Does have that Pokepad, another Dracloak available.
Okay. It's not too bad. And in the turn there with 2 Dracloak in play. You'd love to try and retreat this one out of the active. What would you put in the active, though? Dunsparce, perhaps?
I mean, it's a good question. You maybe want to try and find that Budu back. I don't know. Nothing is safe at this stage.
Oh, no, nothing's definitely safe. There's a Monkey Dory in hand. Maybe you could put that one in the active, perhaps?
The only Pokemon that is safe from this Mega Lopunny pressure is a Dragapult EX, which is unavailable at this early stage of the game.
Another Recon Directive here. Just consult in the hand. What are those 2 cards? Ultra Ball and a Crispin. You've got to keep the gonna take the Ultra Ball. Okay, guess Ultra Ball could find me out to find Crispin as and when you need it. Speaking of Ultra Ball, is being played here. Monkey Dory and the Dragapult.
Just trying to find another Dracloak maybe to get things going.
Oh no, Meowth, Lilies. Okay.
Really valuing that Lily's Determination here, but now a Meowth EX and a Pheasantipity EX are in play, which means that the liabilities are increasing. MILOSLAV has 5 prize cards still to take. A 1 prize knockout and 2 knockouts on those 2 prize Pokemon would be enough, and that would make him our Utrecht champion. Meanwhile, Hasan has a lot to do here to try and establish a Dragapult EX, begin putting pressure on and dismantling that board.
And that Lily's Determination will be for a fresh new hand of 8. All abilities have been used in play, so, Flip the Script and Recon Directive have both been used ×2. So 8 new cards here. We've seen a turn attachment. We've seen a supporter now. Crushing Hammer, can use that, of course. 2 Crushing Hammers, I believe, actually. And the Judges in hand as well. Keep an eye on that one.
Wonder if he's going to hold those and keep them for a future Enriching Energy, maybe. But there we go. Dreepy just going to get shoved to the active and hope that no big attacks come from MILOSLAV on that energied up Dracloak, as it will be a pass to finish things off here.
I think just debating the crush damage. It's going to be the pass now. That's a very sensible turn there from Hasan. You do mention has left some 2-prize liabilities in play though. Miloslav is setting up battle cages coming down. The Dunsparce ×2 in play now.
I mean, can use that enriching energy on a Dunsparce.
Yep.
When it gets shuffled back in, it will put it back into the deck, so not available for the Crushing Hammer, which was such a key part of Game 2's victory. Enriching energy, the ace spec of choice for Miloslav, draws 4 cards.
No boss's orders found from there, though. Wow, the draw opponent's deck is insane, though, isn't it? 4 from enriching, then 3 from a runaway draw. That's 10 cards without playing a support. Ultra Ball being eyed up here. He's going to find second Baneri.
I mean, you know a deck's consistent when it plays 4 poker gear, one of which is in the hand for Miloslav. Just going to draw another 3 here with runaway draw.
No bossels. An air balloon could be useful, though. We'll need to try and develop these Dunsparce again, though. There's a Baneri. There's an air balloon. And here's an Ultra Ball. Going to discard Moltres. Not super helpful in this matchup. Moltres and Hilda. Could this find back to Dunsparce? No, the Dunsparce, I should say.
You see both of them on
and
board.
a Lilies.
In a past game, we did see that the Dunsparce were left on board to protect from that hand disruption. Miloslav really getting far ahead in the board state here, able to establish 2 Dunsparce, won't even need to use them, as a KO on the active is possible. And just looking to try and establish around this Mega Lopunny in the active. Hasan has a lot to do again in this game and will be staring down a scary prospect of a 330 HP Mega Lopunny.
Yep, and Miloslav is doing everything he needs to, setting up those Dunsparce, getting them ready for that turn where the judge and or unfair stamp does come down.
See, putting the 60 HP Dunsparce in play. If that gets knocked out, it's not the end of the world. You have a few prize cards to play with when you have these 3 prize Pokemon, because you can force an 8 prize route towards the end of the game. At this early stage, Miloslav is aware of that. He's been playing fantastically throughout the tournament and takes his 2nd prize card here in game 3.
Yep, Spiky Hop, 160 damage, going to KO the GP. Back over to Hasan now. We'll be trying to work his way towards a Phantom Dive. Would like to try and replace that stadium if possible. Crispin is the supporter here.
We'll be trying to get ahead on energy, which is a key part of this game. You want to be setting up those Monkey Dory later on. But if you're putting energy onto your Dragapult every turn, it becomes increasingly difficult to do so.
It's going to be the Fire Energy and the Dark Energy taken. Fire Energy has been attached. Haven't used Flip the Script yet. Have got use of 2 Recon Directive as well.
See so many cards with this deck. And you can see why it's done so well, both in LA and Prague previously, and now here, trying to make it 3 regional events. What's going to be seen off the Flip the Script? Buddy Buddy Poffin. Not great at this stage, but could be used to discard with that Ultra Ball.
Yep, and there exactly they go. It's going to be for Monkey Dory, perhaps. We saw the Dark Energy get taken off the Crispin. It's going to be for Dracloak. Thin inning is winning.
One of the Monkey Dory has been discarded already. The other in the prize card.
Oh,
so
good
for
shout.
Hasan, that Monkey Dory is going to be hard to retrieve from the typical search outs of PokePad and the Ultra Ball. But another Recon Directive here will allow him to see more cards. What does he need at this stage? It's that Dragapult EX really that's going to be the key to finish off this turn.
Surely we have that access to that already, because we played the Ultra Ball, right? Yeah, so there's a Dunsparce being used. Oh, he's picking up his pace of play here. What has Hasan seen? What is he so excited about now? Something. Dragapult EX is in hand. Crushing Hammers are in hand. Supporter has been used, of course. Flip the Script have been used. Recon Directive has been used.
I mean, you want to combine those Crushing Hammers with a disruptive turn.
Good point.
So we'll be holding on to those, just building up a huge hand. No hand disruption for Miloslav, just playing his own pace of game, but is susceptible to a big disruption turn that I think Hasan is trying to build up to here.
I think Hasan maybe been really trying to work towards that Risky Ruins, but I haven't seen that hit the hand yet. Oh, right on cue.
Speaking of which, there's that Risky Ruins. Battle Cage will be gone. And a huge card to find at the end of that turn of draw. As Dragapult EX in hand, Risky Ruins comes down.
That means Battle Cage has going to be replaced. That means those 6 damage counters will be live from Phantom Dive. There is a 60 hit point Dunsparce there. It's looking rather juicy. A nice prize card there for Hasan. Yep. And there it is, 200 damage into the active mic and 6 damage counters on that Dunsparce that has been KO'd.
200 damage on the active is the key, though. Is that Mega Lopunny going to be taken down next turn, or is MILOSLAV going to prioritize recovering it with a Wally's Compassion? And if so, energy will be removed from play, making those crushing hammers that bit more effective. So a huge turn now for MILOSLAV as the Battle Cage slams straight down.
Yeah, Battle Cage slamming firmly shut there. Is over to MILOSLAV. Has a boss's orders in hand. No Wally's in hand currently. I'm sure he would love to try and get away with just keeping the Dunsparce in play, but no energy in hand either. Remember, 5 energy is prized currently, so energy could be a lot harder to come by here. It's just debating, yeah, what do I do? Here's an Ultra Ball.
I guess thinning before the draw, maybe.
70 hit point. Dunsparce potentially. Abra being eyed up here.
Maybe using the Abra to reset the attack so that the Dunsparce can remain. Or looking to just set up another Dunsparce here to try and put more damage and more scary prospects of draw in the future.
Oh, and a Poképad. Find them both then. Abra and Dunsparce. Remember that Abra, that teleport ability means MILOSLAV can just retreat into it, get into the active and teleport it back into the deck. You can promote the Mega Lopunny then. Gale Frost extra damage would be live.
1 card left in MILOSLAV's hand. Will be able to reset this Mega Lopunny straight away. So that's now a attack. Oh, I don't know if he's attacked here. He's just explaining that he's gone into the active. Will be bossy up
boss's orders for a Gale Frost. That is going to be a KO there.
And this means that next turn, MILOSLAV will only need a boss's orders on the Meowth EX to win. So this is going to be a key moment for Hasan, who has to not only take a knockout, but disrupt as much as possible.
Wow. All MILOSLAV will need is a boss's orders, and we'll have 2 uses of runaway draw to try and find it. Hasan will be able to carry the Mega Lopunny, of course, with Phantom Dive. Will he be able to find the unfair stamp? We know Judge is currently in hand, but then MILOSLAV's hand isn't actually that big, so Judge might not be as impactful right now. Unfair stamp might not be impactful right now. What can you do? Watching hammers aren't effective. You're moving energy in play.
What better way to say you want to disrupt me here than take away all of your cards and leave your draw on board? Disruption as an option for Hasan does very little. 2 cards in hand for MILOSLAV, taking off the prize cards, and it was energy and Wally's Compassion. So
wow.
Just not really going to change much at this stage. And what an amazing turn from MILOSLAV, establishing such a stable board, saying, if I get boss's orders next turn, I win the game.
And energy as well. We'll have to find energy, but yeah. Wow. Deep breath in. What a turn. And it's interesting, because as you say, he has played the hand down. So unfair stamp and Judge aren't really super impactful. Currently, has got a 5 energy in hand, as that was taken from the prizes, sorry. So it is just the boss's orders needed. Unfair
stamp taken from that first recon directive. No Pheasantipity in play will mean draw is tougher, but we'll be looking to try and establish the Monkey Dory with a Risky Ruins perhaps here.
Risky Ruins was found.
Wow, could be putting together the perfect response, although it's not infallible. There is going to be a chance for MILOSLAV to draw on the other side of any kind of disruption. And there it is, Risky Ruins off that last runaway draw, going straight down.
Literally playing hot potato with the stadiums here, been replaced every single turn in a row here. There is the Monkey Dory. Extra 20 damage in play.
Wow, I mean, at this stage, could take out the active and the Dunsparce. A 4 prize turn, which was enough in the last game to win it. But on this occasion, will it be enough? Unfair stamp from Hasan to disrupt MILOSLAV in these final stages.
Big swing turn here needed for Hasan. With MILOSLAV only needed such limited resources, Hasan will need to disrupt. Will be taking at a minimum 3 prize cards carrying the active. Can obviously manipulate damage counters to get that 70 hit point Dunsparce as well.
Getting a little judge shuffle on both sides here.
Don't mind it.
Key moments like this really do define finals. Miloslav has set up as good a board as possible to win next turn with a boss's orders. Does he get it off the unfair stamp, or will he need to draw cards?
I saw a Wally, I can tell you that. Didn't see the second card though. What has Hasan got? Poképad. The turn continues, of course, with unfair stamp. That is draw power from an item. So the turn will continue. Going to find that Dunsparce again. Poképad ×2 is confirmed. Dunsparce. There we go.
Wow.
Ready to go next turn.
I'm sure.
Crushing Hammer, I saw. Crispin. Okay, I like that. Going to get that other Jack Cloak, I imagine, into the mix.
I mean, his heart must be beating hard right now. Anytime you know your win condition is reliant on hand disruption, especially when there's 2 Dunsparce on board, you're going to be feeling the pressure of this moment. For Miloslav, he has to watch patiently before he's allowed to draw some cards. As Hasan establishing as much of a board as possible to try and win in a future turn. But he's going to be asking the question after this big turn of knockout. 2 damage over to the Dunsparce, KO the active, 4 prizes for Hasan.
Here we go, big 4 prize card turn there from Hasan, getting dangerously close to winning. What can Miloslav do? Promotes runaway draw. What do we have in hand? I see a Hilda, I see a Dunsparce, and I see a Wally, none of which are super helpful right now.
Needs energy card and boss's orders to win this game. Does he find any of it off this first draw?
No, nowhere near. All 3 of those cards not useful for this win condition.
Still needs 2 cards to get into this game. He's going to be able to draw another 3, but shuffles back in that to Dunsparce.
Does have the battle cage. So you can put that down to slow down Hasan's attempt to win in. We would have to use this to Dunsparce here because Hasan is only at 1 prize card. So you can't leave the Dunsparce in play. Could get boss's orders. Okay, promoted.
Another 3 cards drawn here with runaway draw. Miloslav working out if it's right to do it at this stage. Maybe you're thinking of Hildering first to guarantee the energy instead.
But yeah, I can see that. Here we go, runaway draw.
What's you going to get?
Energy boss's orders.
Energy boss's orders. There's the energy.
Energy boss's orders. Miloslav, hop, skip, and Gale thrusting his way to become the Utrecht special champion.